Sometimes when we read the Bible, it is very easy to take for granted that what the Bible's saying is very simple. And it is very simple. The gospel is a very simple message. It's difficult to accept the fact that you can be saved by faith and not have to physically do any works to earn that salvation. But overall, the concept of the gospel is very simple. And one of those places where it's very easy to glaze over something that's said very simply and not look at the meaning is in Matthew 5. We've been looking at the Beatitudes. Then we backed up, and yesterday we talked about the fact that Jesus opened his mouth and what the significance of that was. And today we're backing up yet again. We're going to Matthew 5:1, and this is where it says that Jesus sat down. And this is what it says. Seeing the crowds, he went up on the mountain, and when he sat down, his disciples came to him. So as we think this through, first of all, what does the word sat down mean? Well, it's not two words as it is in English. It's one word in the Greek. And that Greek word is kathizo. Probably not pronouncing that right. And what it means is, well, on the surface, it means to sit down. But it also means to set, to appoint, to confer a kingdom on one. As I continued to research this, one of the things that I also found was that older rabbis, like senior rabbis who were very highly esteemed, would often sit down and teach the scriptures to people. So here we have an example of Jesus as a senior rabbi, not because of his age, but because of his resume, because of who he is. He's able to take that place of that appointed place as a teacher and say, let me tell you about what the scriptures are saying. Let me tell you about what God's kingdom is like. And the fact that it's conferring a kingdom, and then when you look at the Beatitudes, they are all about God's kingdom and what it's like as you grow in your relationship with Christ, that first you recognize your need for Christ, and then you come into more and more maturity as you continue to grow. That's all about God's kingdom, and here he's sitting down, and that word can mean to set, appoint, or confer a kingdom. Now, where else do we see this? Well, it is all over the New Testament. So I just picked one, and that's in Ephesians 1:20, and it says that he worked in Christ when he had raised him from the dead and seated him at his right hand in the heavenly places. This is Christ sitting at the right side of God the Father in the throne room of heaven. And that is a place of conferring over your kingdom. And it's the exact same word. This word also shows up in two other places in Matthew. It shows up in Matthew 13:48, where it says, when it was full, men drew it ashore and sat down and sorted the good into containers, but threw away the bad. Now, when you look at that verse in isolation, it's hard to get the meaning of it. So I went and I got Matthew 13:47 through 50. This is a parable that Jesus taught, and it says, again, the kingdom of heaven is like a net that was thrown into the sea and gathered fish of every kind. So we're throwing out the gospel, and we're gathering the fish of every kind. When it was full, men drew it ashore and sat down. Once again, conferring on that kingdom, and sorted the good into containers, but threw away the bad. So it will be at the end of the age. The angels will come out and separate the evil from the righteous and throw them into the fiery furnace. In that place, there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Now, if you put your faith and trust in Jesus Christ, you don't have to worry about being thrown away. But once again, this is God. This word is pointing out to Jesus's authority to throw the bad to the side and keep the good. And it doesn't mean that you're behaviorally, that you're acting good. It means that you put your faith and trust in Jesus Christ and you've got that salvation. In Matthew 19:28, it says, Jesus said to them, truly I say to you, in the new world, when the Son of Man will sit on his glorious throne, you who have followed me will also sit on 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Once again, this is all about conferring his kingdom. And the people at the time would have recognized Jesus taking that position. He sat down to teach and to teach about God's kingdom, and they would have respected that and recognized what that position meant. Have a wonderful day. God bless, and keep walking the walk.